Rolling out your bangs? Terrible. What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria. So here's what I've been thinking. I am feeling a bit burnt out. However, I still love makeup. Here's what I'm gonna do for like the next series of videos. I don't know how many videos it will be where I'm doing this. You may remember like a month or a couple of weeks ago, I did a video where I swatched all of the eyeshadow palettes in my testing drawer, asked which ones you'd be more interested in seeing, and instead of doing like a dedicated like review video on everything, I just am gonna play with an eyeshadow palette and then just like do a full face of makeup, and it's just gonna be easy breezy for all of us, and we're just gonna hang out and do our makeup. I'm not making this like specifically a reason to pull out old makeup. I'm not making these videos specifically to play with new makeup except for the eyeshadow palettes. It's kind of just like me following my heart's desire in these videos. So I hope you'll enjoy me in doing your makeup with me. If you are new to me, hi, welcome. My name is not Victoria, it's actually Tom, and I'm growing out my bangs, unfortunately. But what I normally like to do in my videos is to focus on loving my makeup first and foremost before making a purchase of makeup, and trying to find a good balance between being a content creator and a consumer, because sometimes I buy things for review. It's just, you know, I try to be conscious with my purchases. So if that's something you're interested in, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you check out my pinned comment. There will be links there to support people directly in Gaza. If you have additional funds right now, I highly suggest you support those people with your funds. This one was received in PR. It was received not that long ago, and I have done a handful of looks with it, so I do have some thoughts and feelings on it. And it's this from Urban Decay. Urban Decay sends me PR sometimes, but I was talking about this with other content creators. I really think that big brands have like a tiered PR list, and I definitely get the lowest rung of PR from Urban Decay, and they usually tell me when they're going to send me something. So this was completely unexpected. It just showed up and I was like, okay, Urban Decay. They also sent me this all-nighter setting spray, the new one that's not by Scandinavia. Also, another reason I'm feeling a little bit burnt out with makeup, I feel like all of the brands are deciding to behave poorly all at once, not just major brands like Urban Decay, but also small indie brands. Although I would argue that the indie brands are always, not all of them. I'm painting a very broad picture. There's some indie brands that are really good and really respectable and are doing their best and trying their best in the world. Also, I'm really sad that the tariffs are going to kick in and it's going to be really hard for us to get in international things. I also assume that means that I will not get PR from international brands, which is totally okay. Trix, if you're watching this, I don't expect you to figure that out to send that stuff to me. But like the really real reality is like the hellscape continues to get worse, and I'm just like feeling burnt out. So I just want to play with makeup. Well, let's talk about Urban Decay for a second. You know what? These videos could be whatever I want them to be, and I want to talk about Urban Decay for a second. Urban Decay is, I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing. It seems like they think they know what they're doing, but I don't think they know what they're doing. If you're not on Instagram and you don't follow the brands and you don't follow people who like talk about the goings on in the industry, let me catch you up just like a little bit. This is like the briefest of overviews. I feel like a couple months ago, like a month or two ago, Urban Decay kind of was like prepping us for a sort of rebrand. And what they did is they hired a sex worker to basically say makeup is boring now. And then the next couple of things that they released were the reformulation of their all-nighter setting sprays. They did send me the matte one. Literally after they talked all this shit about makeup being boring. They are one of the boring brands, and that has been a criticism of them for 15 years at this point. The first set of releases they've released after they did this ad campaign where they were like, makeup's boring, blah, blah. And like, I don't need to get into like the nuances of them hiring a sex worker. That's great. I don't really care. But like, also it wasn't like the sex worker was really being grotesque in the marketing. It was just like, that's who they hired. However, her makeup in the advertisement was pretty boring, basic makeup. So it's very much giving like, what is the truth, Urban Decay? What are you trying to do? What is your brand? What is your identity? And they released these palettes. So they've released two of these. This is the naked shaped palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. This is the cool toned one, which we'll talk about in a second. And then also, in case you didn't know, they were reformulating the all-nighter setting spray. Urban Decay had a contract with a brand called Scandinavia, which had been making setting sprays for a long time. And a lot of people who don't like Urban Decay but like the all-nighter setting spray will just buy it from Scandinavia. Scandinavia is still selling the regular all-nighter setting spray, and it's called the bridal setting spray. Obviously, they can't use the Urban Decay all-nighter branding. Urban Decay dropped them, and it was really a mess. It seems like there was like no talks of the end of that contract, and it just kind of like ended, and the people at Scandinavia feel a little bit blindsided. However, it also sounds like the person who owns Scandinavia was getting pushed out of meetings, and like no one was talking to them. And I think that all really started happening after L'Oreal bought Urban Decay. That is what's kind of going on with Urban Decay right now. I wouldn't have bought any of this. And I also, I'm feeling a weird in-between space between parent companies. Do I feel like the companies under the parent company have the same responsibility, but the money is going up towards the parent company? L'Oreal's not a good company. So navigating the beauty space right now, I'm not saying I'm doing it perfectly. I'm not trying to accuse anyone. I'm just saying like L'Oreal's pretty bad. You might want to not buy from Urban Decay, but there are very few brands I feel like in the Sephora and Ulta sphere that are not owned by a big bad company. So I don't want to be the one who's like navigating that or trying to tell you how to navigate that. Do your best, but also, you know, maybe be conscious of it. Anyway, so all of that being said, this is what the palette looks like. It is light. It is not heavy. But I do like this. It's textured. This is raised. A feature I haven't figured out if I liked or not is this, like the fact that it slides open and there is no mirror on it. Mirrors are not usually a very big selling point for me. It's just weird to see a major market eyeshadow palette not really choose to have a mirror. And I guess if there was a mirror, where would it go? And so you might think that that would make this palette cheaper, and it is like a little bit cheaper than what they used to charge for the Naked palette. It's like $5 cheaper, I think, which is like, I guess $5 could be the cost of a mirror. Anyway, so everything's a little bit confusing about this. However, when I saw that they were doing this, like I was like, that if they offer me PR, this would be like the thing, you know, like the thing that I would want to try. This is the cool toned one. And so something I didn't know, even after I had the palette for a few hours, is that this set of shades here are cream shadows, which I have used them and I have thoughts. And also, let's talk about this being cool toned. Now, I know I'm the one who's always up here being like, blah, 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 cool tones, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's not call something what it isn't. It's like the major market is so afraid of cool tones, but I would say most of like the mattes, like these browns, are a little bit warm and they show up warm on my eyes. So I would say that this one you might think is cool toned, but it's one of those like mysterious browns that just like turns more warm on my skin once I put it on my skin. So we have like shimmer shades. There's 4 shimmer shades. There's 2 here, 2 here. And then there's this, they call it Glimmer. It's not a moon dust eyeshadow, just in case any of you were like curious about that. I would think if they were going to do a moon dust eyeshadow, it seems like they're doing the moon dust eyeshadows in those like quads. Groceries just delivered. So pause for a second and I will lose my space, but I'll be right back. I bought myself some soda, so I'm going to pour myself a little soda. Recently, we introduced the child to the concept of having a song stuck in your head, and he thinks that there's actually songs stuck in our head. He was trying to explain it to me once Tiff said that they had a song stuck in her head. Anyway, very funny stuff. Should I get a part? Don't answer that. Answer it. Don't answer it. The thing is, right now, my baby bangs have been growing out and like they haven't been like cut to go anywhere. And I've been just thinking about maybe I go back to baby bangs, because every time I come across like a picture or like a video of myself with the baby bang, look at that. That's kind of cunty. Look at the flip out at the bottom. Always so much to talk about. I haven't tried raw dogging it with the cream eyeshadows. Let's give it a go. As the great Maya once sang in the cover of Lady Marmalade that came out for Moulin Rouge. Let's give it a go. Joe. So I'm gonna go into this cream shade and I'm just gonna put it all over my lids. I'm gonna use these DECAY brushes. They tend to work better with cream shadows, but these creams in this palette are pretty stiff. Ooh, and I did not get all of the pigment off of it. So I don't know how I feel about the layout of this palette. It's just kind of like convoluted for no reason. It's going on, it's showing up. I did use this shade to like cut my crease the one day and it worked quite well, and I think that's kind of the only thing I would really use it for. I think they're trying to claim that you can like contour and do more with this palette, which like I guess in theory you could, but also you could do that with any eyeshadow palette if you really wanted to, if they tried hard and believed in yourself. So I guess that's something, but I don't know. I think trying to pass this off as a face palette as well is a tough call, especially because it would just be like a sculpting palette. Oh, I'm gonna get so dirty. I don't know that we needed the cream eyeshadows, especially in this format, in these two eyeshadow palettes, because Urban Decay not that long ago released like naked eyeshadow sticks. And I think honestly, that would just be a more worthwhile investment if you like are interested in cream eyeshadows from Urban Decay specifically. Go direct to the source, go to like an eyeshadow stick. I think that this formula is similar to that one, but I only ever have drawn those eyeshadow sticks on and blended them out as opposed to applying them from a brush to my eye. I am gonna add another cream shade to the crease. I'm gonna go into this shade, and I think it looks like it's gonna be good for sculpting. It looks like it's supposed to be a contour shade, and like I'm supposed to believe that, but let's see how they blend on each other. Yeah, they blend quite nicely. The thing I found with this palette, and I'm trying to find the appropriate words to describe it, because someone did comment on one of my videos once, and I've like not only thought about it, but like this was years ago, and I think about it a lot. Because they were like, people who like high-end eyeshadows say they like the lack of pigmentation in an eyeshadow, but then there's like drugstore options that have a lack of pigment in them, and like what's the difference? Like, why are you willing to pay like so much more money for these luxury eyeshadows? And there's a couple of reasons why people might be willing to pay luxury prices for eyeshadows, and it's like, you know, packaging also has something to do with it. But when we're talking about like the kind of formula that luxury offers when it's at its best, which is like light buildable blurring pigmentation, I'm trying to like describe what the difference is for a reason, because I think that this eyeshadow palette is one of those eyeshadow palettes that like doesn't have really great pigmentation, and I don't feel like it's high quality. I'm trying to like narrow down like how to describe it to you. Like, luxury eyeshadows to me kind of like glide on, they blend out like without much issue, like, or any issue, like, and they shouldn't because they're so expensive, and they like have just like the right amount of pigment load to like give you exactly what you want, and you can build on them if you like, or you can just sweep them on and they like look like something. I feel like these have so little pigmentation, at least the powders, which I guess we haven't started using, but these creams are feeling very similar. It's like such a slow build. It's like, where are we going? Are we even getting anywhere? I think that Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows are better, but it's like giving me a similar experience to how I felt about using Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows, where it was like, I keep building and building, and then it's just like kind of like, there's only so much I can do with them. So that's the two shades. I think that they blended quite well together, but a little more work than I would like to do with a cream eyeshadow. I think the thing about cream eyeshadows is that they need to be a little bit different than powder eyeshadows in the way they go on, because I feel like cream eyeshadows tend to really lighten up in pigmentation as you blend them. So my ideal cream has like a nice pigment, but also blends really well, but then also will set. I'm gonna just follow up and go into the powder version of that shade. I think that's the idea. They're not named the same. Anyway, sorry, I was like looking at the names. They have crazy names, just so you know. We have Beverly Chills Nippy Over Ice. Anyway, so I'm just gonna put that on top. I have not powdered my eyes, so we're also seeing how these powders blend on the creams. Do you see how like that really didn't add a ton? The only Urban Decay eyeshadows I'm super familiar with are the Moondust eyeshadows, and I also had the Electric palette back in the day, but I never had one of the naked powder palettes. Like, and whenever they did that like OG palette push, was that last year? I did not get that PR. Again, C-list PR, but I think right now they're just trying to get as many people to talk about them as they can. Like all of the brands seem to, and they're doing it in the worst possible way. Okay, we're getting somewhere. The thing is, I don't hate this eyeshadow palette, but it's not an eyeshadow palette I really, basically, the review is, it's fine. It does what it's supposed to, but I would never pay this much money for this kind of eyeshadow palette or this eyeshadow palette in like specificity. It gets the job done, but it doesn't feel like a fun way to get this job done, where there's like other eyeshadows that come in the same colors that I've tried from other brands and are presented a little bit differently in a way that I like find more enjoyable for my interactions with them. And maybe we'll do that eyeshadow palette next, because I have the Unoriginal Nudes palette from Bella Beauté Bar. So I think that one would be an interesting one to do back to back with this one, because it's like very similar vibes. The eyeshadows are better. And I think the prices of the Bella Beauté Bar is like a little more expensive than this. I still think it's the better buy. for you, and just having options, especially, I like still don't understand why they think this is like a cool toned palette. I'm going into the cream powder with a fluffier brush and kind of just blending out the edges. The powder blended okay on the creams, but I don't like to blend on tacky bases. It can be done, and it wasn't too tacky, and it worked. I just feel like I get a better blend when I do this. This is very much like an everyday eyeshadow palette, and I do feel like they did kind of fix, I think, something that they got criticism for a lot in their original Naked palettes. There wasn't a lot of depth, and I do feel like we have like a deep black, and we have like a deep brown, and then like a mid-tone brown, and then a light shade. So, oh, there's also this shade over here that I'm completely neglecting. I don't think I need it. I'm gonna go back into the same brush. If this is like your only option for like having something for like on the go, it is like light, but again, you don't have a mirror, so I don't know if this is like something that you would want to like lug around with you. I'm going into this dark brown here. I'm just kind of like patting it in here. I don't know that this is like the one. Also, it's just like, if you're like really trying to rebrand, it just doesn't feel like the serve that like the brand is like trying to like pitch to me. I don't know that it's a serve. Okay, I'm gonna go into the black powder. Went right to the cream. I'm just gonna drag that on the outer portion of my lash line and just take what's left on the brush in a pretty easy breezy smoky eye. I'm not gonna wing it out. I've been doing a lot of wings recently. I haven't used any of the shimmer shades on my lids, but they're all very warm. These two are like less warm, but like these two are orange. Like, look at them. Those are warm tones. These have like silver shimmery sparkles in it. I'm gonna use this shade right here. What's that shade called? June Gloom. I need to tell you that my vanity has been in such disarray, and it still kind of is. I cleaned it up a little bit. Prepping for that V video, I tried so hard to include like comparisons, swatches, and like tell you about it, and like, so I just like had all of my makeup just like everywhere, and I was like swatching things. And it was funny because I put the video together after what felt like so much work, and it just appears to be the same quality as any of my reviews have been, so that's something. This is the Fahrenheit Pixie Epoxy. I'm just tapping it out on my eyelid. What I'm gonna try to do, we'll see if I'm successful at it, is I'm gonna like try to focus that on the actual fold of my lid. Of course, we're gonna use the glimmer topper. Is it showing up at all? This is such a soft shimmer. I guess it's kind of doing something. And then with a big fluffy brush, I'm gonna tap into this white sparkle. I love this shade, but of course I do. This is something that I'm very into. I love no pigment base sparkly toppers. This is not like the most impressive one I've used, but it gets the job done. I do feel as though like it needs a tacky base, or it doesn't really kind of stay. Like, I don't know, the base doesn't feel like it's also kind of like an adhesive for it. Like, I feel the Fenty Diamond Balm, which is like a similar color and idea, I feel like it does help adhere. It's still on my eyes needed to have like a glitter primer, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna move all over. But I just feel like this one feels like it's not gonna move all over. So what we have here is like a very serviceable eyeshadow look, but like, I don't think this palette's worth it. It's like fun, it's cute, it's pretty, but it's like, I don't know that it's worth it, in my opinion. That's just my opinion though. Yeah, I have some fallout, which is fine. Glitter has fallout. I was trying to be so brave and so bold and have my hair down, and it just like isn't worth it. We're gonna pause for the cause to talk about my bangs. I love the baby bangs. And I wasn't really like sick of them, but I also am starting to grow out. If you weren't here, this used to be like baby bangs into like shaved sides of the head. However, for hairstyling purposes, I do feel like you can't really see the kind of styles I've been doing with my hair, with this part being short, because I would like for this hair also to get styled. So then I was like, oh, I'll just like grow out my bangs too. So I know my bangs are still like short, and I think some of you would still call them like baby or micro bangs, but like they're really not. Like, I haven't gotten my baby bangs cut, I think, really since the beginning of the year. So this is where they're at. I just don't know if I'm thinking like I could do either like a curtain bang, or maybe like a side part situation. I'm like not really sure. Anyway, I'm getting a trim, just a trim. Everyone calm down. And getting some like more layers put in at the end of the month. So don't worry, it will look different, but I didn't even take a sip of this. I'm actually gonna ask my hairstylist what she thinks. I very rarely open the forum for this, but what do you think? And I am curious. And of course, like, I will ultimately make my own decision, but I guess right now I'm having trouble seeing the vision with me with curtain bangs. I kind of like having an edgier look. I don't feel like I'm an entirely edgy person, but I like having and I think that baby bangs were a nice bit of edge. And I do think that my face carried them quite well, but then what does a baby bang look like without the shaved sides? And I'm not really sure what that looks like, so we'll see. I need to talk about it. I need to talk it out. I need to talk it through. This has been sitting, I just saw this on the table. This has been sitting in my testing drawer. This is from Isamaya. It's like their darkest contour shade, which I was going to use as an eyeshadow. It was sent by a friend. So I haven't tried it yet. It's just been sitting here. Oh, I've been drinking coffee. I just finally figured it's like it's not quite the end of summer. It will still be hot enough. And also I'm queer. Finally, with the AeroPress that Cam so kindly gifted to me for my birthday last year, I finally figured out how to make iced coffee with it. Successfully. I was making like a very mid coffee and dealing with it, but now I'm making good iced coffee and I feel proud of that. And I want you to be proud of me in the comments section. This is still sitting on my vanity, so will you? No, okay, let's use this one. Well, is that over here? Where's that? Merit sent me a PR package and then 2 more showed up like over the couple days after one showed up, and I was like, I don't know what's happening or why they're being so kind, but thank you. But now I can't find the thing I was gonna use. I don't know if I could be a middle part girly, although whenever I had long hair before, I had a side part. However, the hairline for a side part is not great. In fact, now I'm scared. Oh no, it's always been there. That mole has always been in the hairline. But sometimes, you know, I can't say it. And suddenly the egg was mine. Merit sent me a million PR packages in a row. We'll talk about the cleanser just because, I don't think any of you have like pressing thoughts, but they made a cleanser. And it's supposed to be like your double cleanse and your regular cleanse all in one. It is not. It's a nice regular cleanser, but as a double cleanse, it does not get all the makeup off. Even if you cleanse your face twice with it, it's really bad at getting mascara off. My thought is though, if you are using like Merit products, they have only a tubing mascara. So I think with a tubing mascara and using it, it might be easier to take off your makeup, but it's just like not enough for me. Not a great double cleanse, but a great second cleanse, I think. But I wouldn't buy it because I'm tearing through it. Like, it's like, I got it not that long ago and I feel as though like I'm halfway done with it and I haven't even had it that long. They recommend 4 to 6 pumps and like I've been doing 4 pumps and I don't know, it's not worth it. But they resent me this, which is their great skin. Diane's daughter just popped out. I haven't had this in a while. And I forgot that I actually liked it. I just decluttered it because it was just like not something I was like using a ton. And then they like kind of like re-upped me on a bunch of stuff, which is like very generous. But they sent me a different shade of the foundation that I've ever had. Up until this point, I've been using the shade Silk. But my match for because they re-upped me on the sunscreen, so maybe I'll start wearing it as a sunscreen. They sent me a different foundation shade because the lightest shade doesn't correspond to the shade Silk, which is what I've been using. So they sent me the shade Ceramic. I swear the packaging said Bone. They sent me Ceramic. So I think this might be their lightest shade. Silk always worked for me, but this one's just like a little bit lighter. So I don't really like drawing on my face with this one, but I think this matches a lot better for me. I've used the stick without the Great Skin, but with the Great Skin, it looks really good. However, this formula is a pretty dry cream formula, and I do think without like something very slippy, and I've said this before about this formula, without something very slippy down first, it does not look very good on the skin. But with a slippy base, ooh, I've been just kind of wearing this foundation more again because this color I think is a better match, and I liked it, and now I'm liking it again. Not something I think you need to like run out and go out of your way with. I'm just sharing that it's like I've been enjoying it again. Okay, and then for concealer, what do I have in front of me? There's like so much in front of me. I'll use the Refy because it's also very light and kind of desaturated. I didn't swatch Ceramic. It has a little bit of peachiness in it, but Not anything that my skin can't handle. I haven't used this in a while. I pulled it out whenever I was doing swatches. I don't love it under my eyes. I do like this better as a foundation. It works in pinch. It's here, you know, like that's just how I'm feeling about it. Now that I have the great skin again, I still have the Dior foundation, the Dior stick foundation. I'm gonna try it with that to see if I fare any better. The thing about this though, the Merit, is that it like doesn't get into my pores like that one did. That one really liked to be in my pores. So we'll see if the great skin can help it. I'm liking the eyeshadow look, by the way. I know I was like kind of hooing and hawing and complaining, but it's like fine. It's fine. I just think that there are more desirable nude eyeshadow palettes, I guess, is like kind of just what I'm getting at. It's just like, let's go for another thing. You know what I'm really excited to see? Makeup world, makeup-wise, Bella Beauté Bar, and every time I say her name, I get so nervous that I'm saying it wrong. New Per. I had to go back to her pronunciation on her Instagram. She did a collab with Bella Beauté Bar. They just showed 4 of the singles that they did together, but I want to see the palette. And you know what's so funny is that forever ago, she told me that she was doing a collab with Bella Beauté Bar, and my brain forgot. And I get to meet her in a couple of weeks, which I'm very excited about. I literally like looked at this and I was like, I wonder if I could contour with that. Let's not do that though. Let's see. I don't know. I've never, like, I might have swatched it. Oh yeah, no, I can't. Sorry for having the thought. I was like, wonder how sheer it gets though. No, it's still black. It's Tom, yeah, it's still black. I almost like just did it too. Like I was just like not thinking. I was like, that's crazy. Micellar water, where are you? You know, I'm looking at this eye look and I think I want to add to it. I just want to make it more sparkly. You may have seen in shorts that me using this. I think I've had them on in videos, but I don't think I applied them in videos. These from Dose of Colors, the It's Literally Magic Sticks, they're crazy. I'm going to use the shade Stardust, which is my least favorite of the two, but I think it will boost this look quite a bit. I think this one's like a little just less sparkly appearing in some lighting than the other shade Icy, but I actually think it has to do with it having a bit of a base color. I don't know that that really made it better. I think that the cream eyeshadow is getting stuck to the top of this and then it's not looking as pretty as it usually does. So I'll show you the swatch on my hand. Isn't that crazy? I have a bunch of sparkly eyeshadow sticks I've been playing with recently. I know Tower 28 just announced that they're releasing one, and I'm like, is this what we're doing now? And honestly, I'm thrilled. Let's do more. I'm going to use Cool Candlelight from Phytosurgence. I don't know when this video is going up. Probably soon. Phytosurgence, much like other international brands, are kind of like temporarily trying to figure out what the tariff situation is going to be. And I think that, if I'm recalling correctly, their last date for putting orders in the US is fast approaching. I think it'll be over for some of the other brands I have makeup from. Like, I think by the time this video goes up, Glaminatrix will have closed theirs already. Everything right now is such a bummer. Like, I'm so sorry to add the bummer vibes, but more on pronunciation things. I had a Greek friend who tried to teach me how to say what I will just call a dry robe. And then I swear to God, she was saying the word to me and I was saying it back and she was saying it to me and she was saying it back. She was like, you're not saying it. And I was like, no, but I am saying it literally just the way that you're saying it. I guess I wasn't. Anyway, so apparently I have a really hard time trying to pronounce things right. My intentions are pure. I'm going to take a little bit of Omen from Rituel de Fille and just cut my jawline pretty quickly with it. Not doing anything too serious with the contour here. I saw someone, there's this makeup artist, I think she's from New Zealand or maybe she's from Australia, and she shows up on TikTok, but I think she has a YouTube channel too, and I can't think of her name, but she was like, if you're not baking your eyeshadow, you're doing it wrong. And she like baked her eyeshadow and she was like, it won't budge, it won't crease. And she just used so much powder. And this is like not judgment. It's just like the technique. I'm like, but at what cost? Because she does her makeup very differently than me. The way she does, like, if you're familiar with the way like that Tati contours her face, it's very similar. Like she's painting for the back row. It's actually so wild. It always looks so good when she's done. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. And I'm going to take Intuition alert. I didn't throw it away. I know someone was so sad that I've moved on to Omen, but I still have Intuition. And I'm going to contour this part of my face with it, which actually I think is my favorite way to contour. So I like to use Intuition on my cheek, and then I like to use Omen throughout my chin area. I can also use Omen on my cheek and it looks really beautiful, but like Intuition I think looks more natural here, but I like the harsher contour down here. Anyway, have you guys ever baked your eyeshadow? She like baked, like she like took translucent setting powder, or no, the one that she used was pink, had a pink tone, and she like baked it. If you guys know who I'm talking about, just let us know in the comments. Do you ever just see someone do something and you're just like, what is happening? What is this choice we're making? And that was how I felt when I saw it. Okay, I'm gonna powder. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury under eye powder. Am I gonna powder my whole face yet? Or maybe just my under eyes? I don't know. I haven't decided. I think I'm gonna use a cream blush. Am I gonna use a cream bronzer? Yes. My one true love. They released new blush shades and there's a brownie pink. I didn't say who's excited, but I raised my hand, so I hope you understood what the question I asked before I raised my hand was. I'm feeling very excited, RuPaul. Are you guys watching Trixie and Katya, The Bald and the Beautiful? They're rewatching the season that they were on together. It's incredible to just like, I just also just love the way that they talk about it. It's like, if you haven't seen the season, it's not worth you watching them talk about it because they jump right in as if you've seen it, you know what's going on, you know the tea. I wonder if like an NDA situation is up. Anyway, it's always just like fun to hear behind the scenes stuff, especially on a show that I like, really like. It is also interesting to hear how vastly different one person's experience on the same season can be from another. Not between them, but like the most recent episode, they had a voice note from Pearl. It was a bit of a bummer. And ooh, they weren't ready for it either, which also like, who is... Anyway, I have a lot of questions about who's writing their show because I also will say this about Trixie and Katya. Sometimes like they'll be talking like, they be talking like rich people. And I'm like, I don't understand what you guys are talking. Like, anyway, I'm gonna use Garconne from Westman Atelier. And the reason I feel compelled to use this is that they just released a highlighter in this shade. The shade's so pretty. Ugh, so a cool toned mauve-y highlighter. Get out of here. Get out of my way. I'm not gonna buy it probably. I don't feel like buying anything. I've been trying to buy from indie brands and I like, you know, I make that suggestion to you as well. The ones that are doing good, I bought from an indie brand that I talk shit about all the time on my channel. So that's coming down the pipeline as well. My order just shipped. So I'm excited to try it. And I'm genuinely excited to try it because everyone seems to really like the brand. I just haven't liked what they've done so far, but they finally released the thing that I was like interested in. Since we're talking about the lit up highlight stick, the highlight stick from Westman. I have the highlight, hold on. I have the shade Nectar from Westman Atelier, and I haven't used this in forever. This was something that Tiff took off of me, and then we did that video together where we decluttered their makeup. And so I'm gonna use it. Funny because now I'm putting on the rest of my makeup and now I feel like my eyeshadow looks very cool tone. But I think that I think that using the It's Literally Magic stick helped. I don't think it looked so cool toned before. Did it? Maybe I'm crazy. Now I'm gonna powder the rest of my face. The Givenchy. Just gonna avoid the highlight area. This highlight does stay creamy and balmy on the cheek, and I think this will be my first time truly, with my long hair, using something like that on my cheek. So, looking forward to having hair stuck to me. What if I, like, did one of these? Oh, wait, actually? Wait. Is that something? Hold on. Hold on. Everyone calm down. Calm down. Wait. Wait, I kind of like this, like, little devil-y kind of turned in. It's very 90s. Hold on. Wait, will it be still whenever my hair is down? Okay, I think middle part's on the table, everyone. Middle part, curtain bang. Some of the hair is still a little short and not really, like, doing what I wanted to. There's something. Wait, what is going on? Hold on. I'm like missing the va-va-voom of it all. Am I a middle part girl? It's like the longer the bangs get, the thinner they look. But when they're shorter, they look thicker. Like there's no gap in them whenever they're the baby bangs. Let's talk about mascara. Let's talk about it. So I have two open right now. I don't have any backups. These have aged for a while, and I feel like I have more solid thoughts on them. I like the Levitation Lash from Rituel de Fille. It's just a little, you know, like it's just like, it doesn't look the way I want it to every time. And that is also quite similar to my experience with the About Face. This one also is kind of hard to get off. I don't think it's waterproof, but it does feel like when I'm washing my face when I'm wearing this one, it feels like hard to get off. But I like the way it makes my lashes look for the most part, but sometimes I put it on and I don't like the way it looks. Most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't. And I don't know if it's just like a matter of like the product I get on it, because I kind of like the volume, the va va voom, like it's just kind of va va voom, you know, like I love the va va voom. So we'll use this one today. And I think, I don't know, I usually really like these brushes, these rubber stubby brushes, because I normally feel like they give me really great separation. I find it particularly troubling, literally on this eyelash, on the inside of my eyelash, like closer to my nose, like it's just like it clumps those ones together more than it seems to clump the outer ones. It always, again, kind of like my bangs, there's like a window between the eyelashes, and it's like that's not what I'm looking for. And one of you did kindly suggest that I get a lash separator, and I did reply back to them and I said, I know that I will do 8,000 things to my face and my complexion to make it look the way I want to. That feels like a bridge too far for me and my eyelashes, because it's not a step I really particularly care about. You know, and I think we all have the things that we really like to do and like fuss and finesse over, and complexion is one of those things for me, but not mascara. Like people who use more than one mascara or really layer up mascara, I don't understand you. And it's not a bad thing. And we're allowed to have different things that, like, because you probably don't do 100 steps for your complexion. Look at my skin. That Merit stick did me good. Oh, okay. We still have lips. I tried being very non-binary for you and come on with the black lip oil. By the way, one of you says that the clear one works really well for you, and I'm so happy for you. But it just doesn't feel super moisturizing to me. Will this NARS work for this? I think it'll work. You know what shade this is kind of reminding me of, and I don't think I've ever swatched them next to each other. Cimarron from Gucci. But Cimarron is a discontinued Gucci shade. Cimarron was the one I was wearing in the Vive review, by the way. Because if you watch the Vive review, you know I don't love their lipsticks. This is Bewitched. This is Cimarron. So Bewitched is darker and more purpley. You know what I think about a lot? This tweet that Georges put out. She said, I looked very non-binary last night. I'm scared. Me every day. The second my hair is long enough to braid in any kind of real way, I'll probably will get layers cut in it, and then I'll be mad that I can't braid my hair properly because I'll have layers. I don't know if I want to use this one. Okay, here's what I'll say about this one, the new Urban Decay matte. I don't think it's really that matte at all unless you spray a ton of it, and at that point I don't want a ton of it. I have worn this outside in the heat a couple of times, and I feel like my oils broke through really quickly, and I did more powdering in those situations too because I was like gonna be out, and I just feel like my oils broke through really quickly. I'm not all about looking matte, but I find that like sometimes the matte setting sprays make me look worse whenever I spray them. Whatever the mattifying agent in it, like I don't know. And it doesn't feel as blurring as like the Huda one, which is an aspect of the Huda one I quite like. The sprayer is nice though. I think that the sprayer is quite nice. Like whatever magic they did for that, like it comes out in a perfect stream, very misty. Doesn't feel like it's attacking your face. I'll use it on half my face, and then I'll use the one I want to use on the other half of my face. You know, I have another Urban Decay setting spray. I wonder if this sprayer is really different, because that is something that they like really sold the fantasy on. I mean, it mattified a little bit. I guess the side does look a little more airbrushed, but like not a lot. Let's look at the sprayer. Okay, the sprayers are different. This one is like mistier and more direct. This one comes out more like a cloud and less direct. So that feels like a personal preference thing, but I think both sprayers are fine. I do want to talk about I didn't use the priming one, but I'm going to use the setting one. These are so good. These are like so good. I love these. These were received in PR from Trixie Cosmetics. There's the First Base priming spray. And a while ago in a video, I very casually was like, there's an $18 primer that I really like. It's nothing like the Victoria Beckham, so it's not like really a replacement for that. But it like blurs and it just, oh, it's so good. I was not expecting to like or care about this at all. This is one of my favorite things I've tried from Trixie, which is saying a lot because I just put their bronzer on and it's also my favorite thing. Trixie Cosmetics is so good. I love that that is the where we've landed with Trixie Cosmetics. The only dud so far, I don't even think I've used them in a video. Have I? No, I did. The Stain. Ugh. This is their All the Way Natural Finish Setting Spray. Excellent, excellent. If you are also looking for an alternative to Urban Decay All-Nighter, I think it gives a very similar finish as the regular All-Nighter. A little bit cheaper than what the All-Nighter cost. And I do think it enhances the length of my wear time of my makeup. It's great. It's great. They're really great. They come in a bundle too with like a little bit of a discount. This won't come for a while because they're sending me, I think they're going to send me the blushes. I don't know, maybe they won't. Again, I have a feeling that we're going to see a shift in like PR, and I don't know that for sure, like whenever tariff stuff really hits the fan. Although I guess the really big brands haven't been dealing with like the de minimis exception, which is, I think, what has changed for the international brands. I think, oh, did I finish thought? I think I'm going to do like a best and worst of Trixie Cosmetics. I've never done one of those videos, so it'll kind of be like a full brand review. I know that I've kind of just been like trying things here and there, and I can buy like the last couple of things I haven't tried from the brand and kind of just like do a best and worst. But as we've kind of learned, we, meaning me, because I've kind of learned in experiencing the stuff, which of course, you know, it's a privilege to be able to experience stuff. I did buy this, but these were PR. But like, bangers. The white eyeliner, I don't know that I love, but I do like the brown and the black one, which I've been using them more, which you've been seeing on my face more recently. The only thing I don't love are the powder eyeshadows, which are fine and workable, and I don't like the lip stains, but I think that's just a matter of me not liking lip stains rather than them being a bad product, because it seems like everyone else in the world on the planet get them to work. Anyway, that's a spoiler for my best and worst of Trixie video. I think it would be helpful though for people who are just like looking to buy from the brand. So this is me now. Oh, and basically all of you have clicked off. But I also wanted to tell you about another thing I bought, which is like hair related. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know this. I don't think I'm gonna do like a dedicated review to this because I'm just kind of like getting into styling my hair. Whenever I was young, I would just dry my hair and I would straighten it. So I bought this. This is the Shark Flex. And so this is like kind of a dupe for the Dyson Airwrap, but it does this, which I don't think the Dysons do. But this is it without any attachments, but it has these. So if you watched my Vive review, this is what I did to my hair before I came on camera. And that's why my hair looked so huge, hence Diane. So I'm testing this out. They did like a back to school sale. It might still be going on. They did a back to school promotion and it was only $200 and I got to choose 3 attachments. So I chose those, which I wasn't even sure if they would work for my hair thickness and texture, but they do. And I also got the diffuser, which I haven't tried yet. And they also have a round brush one, which I didn't get, but I'm considering. But I can round brush my hair with a blow dryer, so I guess I don't really need that. Anyway, this is something that I've been testing too, but I'm not gonna do a dedicated video because it's like I have nothing to compare it to. It's just kind of like what I'm playing with right now. Anyway, I want to tell you that I had that. So I'm using it. I'll report back. Maybe it'll end up in a favorites video or whatever. But I've been enjoying it, but I still feel like I don't quite know what I'm doing. Anyway, we played with makeup and I'm excited to play with other things because I think I'm gonna do, I bought these. I think I've used them. I don't think I've used these in a video yet, but I bought these and I have some thoughts on them, and they might surprise you, actually. My thoughts on them actually surprised me, which is funny. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Anyway, love you all. I hope you're all doing great. Help people in Gaza. Support. Be a good person. Don't be racist. Don't be homophobic. Don't be transphobic. Don't do any of that. Be good people. Love you. Go forth. It's out. Okay, I'll do my whole... I Patreon, channel memberships. Actually, I don't feel like doing any of that. So remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. It's out.